The good news is you're looking at the good side.
I know, I saw the other side when you pulled in. Susan texted me and asked, what did Dan do?
Oh.
That's our neighbor.
Mike, the neighbors know.
Oh, great.
They know what we did.
We're going to pick up a project car this morning. Car is a few hours away. It's super early. So we'll check back in with you guys when we're on the road.
Drink whole milk, Mike. Drink whole milk.
Only the best.
Alright, Mike, why don't you feel it out first? You gonna clear the wall there?
No, well, just that'll hold and turn the wheel.
Alright.
Alright? Turn straight.
Alright. It's out. Now we gotta jockey it a few times.
That's good. See what I mean? It's easier.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Right? Roll.
So that's what it looks like outside.
Yeah.
Is he sick yet?
Yeah, it looks a lot different in the daylight. I mean, yeah, it's a car. That's the one that's had the most wheels on it out of anything that we've picked up, right? Easiest to load?
Yes, it is.
So
Easiest to
far?
load. I don't think it even took an hour.
The last car we picked up went on with a forklift, and the car before that we dragged.
Yeah.
So I drove out here 1 or 2 nights ago and looked at the car and secured the deal on the car. Seeing it, you know, in the dark in that storage unit where it has been parked and off the road since 1985. So I knew I had an idea. It looks much, much better in the daylight. You have never seen it.
It's a rare car. So you don't see too many of them.
So does that make it cool?
Oh, it's definitely cool.
Does that mean I did the right thing?
Yeah.
Was
Probably
it?
it's my fault because I'm the one that sent it to you.
It is your fault. The midnight text message of
Yeah.
the car.
It's like buying stuff on TV at midnight.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. I like how we're doing the right thing. We're providing zero assistance. Hey, Bubba. What do you think?
It's rough.
That's pretty toasted.
This is really bad.
It can be fixed. That inside is clean and dirty at the same time. So this is a 1972 Pontiac Ventura Sprint. Yeah, it's like the Pontiac version of the Rally Nova, except like a little bit cooler, because the Rally Nova, I think, only came with a 307. This was offered the minute you ordered the Sprint package. It came with bench seat, 3-speed manual, and a posi rear end. You could either get the 307 or a 350 2-barrel motor. This car was originally a 307 motor, but that's okay. The 307 is long gone. The gentleman we got the car from has had this car a really long time. He was going to upgrade the motor, do some fixing on the car, and just never got done. He kind of took it apart, and it never went back together. But despite him taking the car apart, the car is super, super complete. Let me give you the tour. All right, so here she is. We threw the front end on it yesterday just really fast, kind of just get the, the feel for it. This is the first the car has actually been complete with the front end on it in a very, very long time. So the car has full interior in it. It has the original 3-speed in it, which is super cool. I don't really know much about it. I haven't really been under the car yet, so I'm not sure if it's probably a Saginaw unit. But
I checked under the car. I don't really understand a single thing that's under there.
okay, well, we'll check it out. So bench seat, 3-speed manual on the floor. The owner lost the keys, so he actually took the steering column out and had the car rekeyed and all the new locks made, door and trunk locks. So we have all of the locks. We found the passenger side mirror in the car when we were just emptying it out, so we're not missing that. The driver's side one is unbolted for some reason, but hanging inside the car. So that's good. The trunk is all gacked, so we got to fix that. The trunk floor in this car is great. All sorts of pine needles packed in here, but they're all really dry, so that's pretty good. All this stuff appears to be really, really solid, which is awesome. This quarter panel looks so bad, and it really makes the car look terrible. But when you really start to look at the rest of the car is in really, really good shape. All of the wiring is in the car and intact. The trim is all in the car, but these window channels are mint. Roof is super solid. Shoo. Front window channel. Super, super solid. All the original blind clips still in there. No breaks in the glass. The hood is in amazing shape, and it's probably worth more than I paid for the whole car. Pontiac Ventura stuff, as I'm finding out over the last few days, is extremely rare and hard to find, and they don't remake any of it. So when you find it, it's very expensive. What's hard to find? The roof. The doors are in amazing shape. The bottom of the doors are in amazing shape. This quarter is not nearly as bad as the other quarter, but we're definitely doing quarter panels on this car. Look at these fenders. That is nice. The tires, I think, will clean up really good. The original Pontiac wheels. We have all the grill stuff that's really hard to find and virtually irreplaceable. And yeah, so let's start cleaning on this thing because it's gross. Get the seats out of this thing so we can actually see what we're working with in here. I'm pretty sure that that's the mouse. I don't really want to grab him, though. Oh, yeah. That's definitely a fossil. You died, feller. Look, there's his head. Found him. I knew there was a varmint living in here. Look at what this car did to my garage. Mouse nest, just stuff everywhere. Found the full mouse somewhere. Oh, look at that guy. Hey, but at least it looks clean. I mean, come on. No more stuff. Pine needles are gone. Look at those floors. Are you kidding me? Little bit of toe board rust. We're gonna start fixing on the thing I hate the most about the Ventura. These totally cooked quarter panels. So I want to start getting the quarter panels cut off of this car, but in order to do that, gotta get the back bumper off. So we're gonna start tearing this thing down and see what we got to work with. The car came with new lower quarter for this side, so we gotta see how far it's cooked up the quarter and see if this is gonna work. My own inventory of Nova stuff. Outer wheelhouse. The quarter panel's cut out. The outer wheelhouse is 80% cut out. Still gotta do some more trimming on that. And Mike is here. Da-da-da-da. We're going to get this 3-speed out of here because it's just totally in the way. There's no reason to have it dangling out of the car like that and bungee corded to the firewall.
Oh, you got some heat. You have a torch?
No,
You don't have a torch?
I don't have a torch.
Oh my god.
We have the flamethrower.
No, let's not do a flamethrower. I guess it's giving you a pry bar. Ow!
What'd you do?
I hit my footy bone. Hey, you ever see the air shock works? Air shocks work?
Dude, they have the lines still run through them.
Oh, I've seen that.
Oh, that one went.
You right?
Go. No way!
Gosh, yeah.
You're trying to get it out without taking the cross member out? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
That seems like a lot of work.
2 seconds later.
Ready? I've never taken a transmission out this way. Oh, no. Tilt it up. No! I'd help. I wouldn't grab it by that. I'd help you, but I'm filming. Dude, did you break this?
No.
You broke
It's
this.
not broken. That was like that.
Oh, man.
Go look at pictures before.
Mike, you owe me a new one of these.
You don't even have one, the right one on any of your cars are good. Dialed.
Dude, I think they put all new springs and everything in.
Oh, yeah.
I think they did a full kit. Let me look how much meat's on those pads. Run that puppy.
You know that wheel cinder's going to leak.
So we'll do the right thing. We'll just try to use it anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what we do. That's what Dan does.
So the story is, apparently all of this was rebuilt 20-something years ago and never saw the road. The tires were replaced and are literally brand new, but 20 years old. Front suspension's done. These are aftermarket, like replacement ones, because they're bolted and not riveted in. Okay, what do you think, Mike? Were these actually rebuilt?
Oh, they're gorgeous.
They're pretty good. I don't know about this whole brand new nonsense. All right, so I've got everything out of here. The entire outer wheelhouse is out. We did take the full trunk extension out. I drilled all the spot welds out, got the old one out of there, and we're just going to put a whole new one in. So none of this is welded yet. Everything underneath is weld-through primered. The new one is kind of fit into place with some quick sheet metal screws, and we're kind of getting ready to start putting this thing back together. The front of the inner wheelhouse here, we had some rust down in here. The rocker panel looks great everywhere. Window regulator area right here, this is super common. My 70 was rusted right there. Super easy fix. We're just gonna make a square block, weld it in there. It'll be good to go. And then I have a patch that I've made for the inner wheelhouse that will spot weld back onto this inner structure piece the way that it's supposed to, because I really don't want to take the entire inner wheelhouse. There's a lot of stuff mounted to the inner wheelhouse. You got all the trunk stuff, you got all that stuff mounted to it. I did go ahead and I cut the front floor pan out, and I just quickly fit that guy in there. It's not welded in at all, it's just laying there. All right, so we got to fix the bottom of the window regulator area here. So just use your handy dandy cardboard and just make a sweet template, and then bam, wow, like it fixed itself. The inner wheel tub is in, my patches in there. Wow, beautiful. As you guys remember, this is all patch in there, which is cool. No big deal. Make sure the quarter fits good before you commit to all this. Otherwise, you're going back in and cutting it all out and starting over. We've made some progress on the floor here. Sprayed it with some weld-through primer. Torque box in here actually looks really, really good. And I've got my old patch panel here. It's gonna be fine. Lap weld, seam seal it, and it'll be ready to rock. Right now, we're in the midst of a heater core change, which was good because a giant mouse nest was living in here anyway. The interior is just about ready to go back together. I'm still waiting on a panel to fix the quarter over here. I've already gone ahead and fixed the lower quarter in the back. New panel welded in there. We did some repairs to the tail panel back here. I've got the heater box that goes on the inside of the car. Just hit this with some flat black. Make it look nice before we put it back in there. The rear end in this thing, it's an 8.5 10 bolt with a 308 gear posi unit. This is what would have came with the new, with the sprint package. It came with the 10 bolt posi, multi-leaf springs. But this rear is looking kind of crusty in here. And I can't live with that. The other thing too is these springs are like kind of weird and separating, and I just don't like it. We got to put new brake lines on the whole car, so I'd rather pull that rear out, put brake lines on out here, pop that cover off, see what the inside of it looks like, put new fluid. The other cool thing about the Sprint package is that it also came with this rear sway bar, which is pretty nifty. I've never had a Nova or a Ventura or any of these things with the rear sway bar handling package. So that's pretty cool, and it's all here. It all looks decent enough that, you know, we'll get it cleaned up and reinstall it. Well, as I suspected, that's just gonna rotate till the end of time. So that's cool. How about this one? No! That one thought about it. That's so much worse. Isn't it worse when they think about coming out and then still screw you? One! I got one! Woo! 1 for 3. Nice. That's about how good I do when I go to a casino. Because I always lose. No, that's a lie. I don't go to a casino. I don't bet.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way.
one came out. Okay, that's gonna spin for the rest of my life. That came out. Or broke, one or the other. Unbelievable. Okay, well, these odds are better than most, I guess. I don't know. Ugh, I hate... Who put those speed clip things in there? It's like a fender bolt. It's just stupid. Alright, so now we get to have the fun of cutting all that out of there. That'll be awesome. Can't wait. So other than those front spring baskets, or whatever you want to call them, other than those bolts spinning and giving me a hard time, everything else came out, so I should be able to lower this down now. There, you got it. The rear is almost out. Now we gotta go wrestle with those front spring deals. We're gonna have to cut them. And usually I go in there with a Dremel with the little cutoff wheels. Not because I want to, it sucks. But usually I do that because it's small and you can get them little cutoff wheels in there to slice the top of them bolts off and then get the rest of that mess out of there. So. Sorry, I think I just punched you. But I got it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the same thing out of the other side, and then we should be able to drag this thing out. Whew. God, I hope gear lube comes out of it, because so far not a drop has come out. Oh, okay. Oh, thank goodness. It actually looks alright, the gear lube anyway. Oh, that looks really good. That looks nice. That thing fought me. I don't think I have ever had a rear suspension fight me as hard as this one did. Almost every single leaf in the pack, except for the main leaf, was broken. Look at all these broken leaf springs in there. Jesus. Even the little helper guys were all... I have never had one that bad. I got some fresh leaf springs over here. Another set of multi-leafs. They'll work way better than what was in it, obviously. I had new leaf spring baskets in case I needed them. Ours look really, really good. Note to self, don't ever get rid of those, because as far as I know, they don't remake them. They do make them for Camaros, which some people argue are the same. I have a set for the Camaro, and they're definitely different. I wound up not running them because they looked different. These look good, so we'll probably clean these up and paint them real quick, along with the rear end, and then start assembling it all back together. Alright guys, so the rear is all painted up and ready to start putting back together. I found this super, super nice girdle cover in my stash of stuff, so that's gonna look sick. Sway bar and stuff is all painted up. Pass me el gas tanko.
What?
Pass me the gas tank.
This?
Yeah, the big gas tank. Put it on my belly. Nice. Oh, Jesus. So we're here taking apart the front brakes. These big old front brakes. Thing probably handles like a road racing machine. I don't know if you know this or not, but at a small go-kart track somewhere in Ohio, I do hold a lap record. That's right, lap record holder. Some racetrack in Ohio. You won't find me on there as Dan Hatch though. My record holding name is on there as Cheapskate Dan. Now I bet you're wondering, why do they call you Cheapskate Dan? Well, because 90% of the time when I try to work on these cars, I try and do it as cheap as humanly possible. I've had to learn the lesson a few times of trying to reuse old brake hoses or wheel cylinders, and they always fail on me. Bleeding the brakes becomes a nightmare. It either doesn't work at all or is just a train wreck. So don't be Cheapskate Dan. Put new wheel cylinders and brake hoses on it. And because of my lesson learning, here I am replacing what's probably brand new wheel cylinders back in 1984. Because these drum brakes have never seen, I mean, they're dirty. They're really dirty. But these brakes have never seen the road. They're probably brand new wheel cylinders, but they're 40-year-old brand new wheel cylinders. So I don't trust them. So we're gonna go ahead and replace them and the hoses, since we've already gone ahead and replaced all the lines anyway. Like I was saying earlier about not skimping and reusing parts, and don't take chances with your brake components and all that good stuff about not being a Cheapskate Dan. Went ahead and got these here drums, you know, because those old ones were looking a little raggedy. All right, you caught me. You caught me. These are the original drums. I just rattle-canned them real quick. You can't have scungy-looking brake drums in the front. They gotta look good. If you're rocking white brakes, they gotta be white. Bingo. Man, they look good. I don't know why they did that in the 70s, but that's the thing. I didn't come up with the idea to paint them white. They were white when I got the car. You know? It's a look. I have here a tale of 3 rusty master cylinders. And we're going to get one of these to come around and work for us, because I'm not buying one. Alright, victim number 1. The rear brake reservoir looks alright. Front one's kind of rusty looking. Whereas this master cylinder that came off the car, front reservoir looks great. The rear one's all crusty looking. And this one, well, this came off the junkyard 70 and it's been on fire. So this is the burn. This is where it was on the fires.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, she's coming. I think. Oh, that's why that hood hinge is so messed up. It burned. Guessing that looks probably terrible. All right, and just like that, the master cylinder is on. Over the weekend here, somebody will come over and help me bleed the brakes on this thing. And then the Ventura will roll and stop and have brakes. We're gonna start trying to get the interior cleaned up. The back seat of this thing is in incredible condition. Front seat is blown out, but nothing a Mexican throw blanket won't fix. And the door cards are actually in pretty nice shape. I went ahead and ordered a new carpet. These are cheap enough now that you should just do this. These things are gross. Every single panel in this car is sticky. Like disgusting level sticky. I don't even know how that happens or what it is. You touch these things and it feels like you get a disease. Alright, well after lots and lots of scrubbing, these are looking way, way better. pain in the neck.
Well, is there a bolt for it, a screw for it?
Yeah. I'm having fun.
You want some help?
No, I'm having
Can
fun.
we do it for you?
I'm having fun.
Having fun? And keep an eye on yourself, that? You really should put a headliner in this car.
I fixed it. I'm insulted, dude. That excellent repair job didn't fool you. Okay. That was fun. Alright, we can blast this one in. Don't waste any. That was a $40 can.
What are you doing that for?
Huh?
Let's put the other carpet in.
I got distracted.
Come on, let's put the other carpet in. We can do this later.
Okay. Hit it. Oh, heat that puppy up, Mike.
This is scary. I'm gonna buy you a freaking torch. Yeah, we're not really doing anything.
Yeah, small butane torch would be great. But instead, we're going for massive flame.
Yeah, trying to blow ourselves up.
Yeah, it's not our finest work.
Yeah.
The whole reason for this is like to poke through seatbelt holes and stuff. It doesn't make sense to spend forever cutting on them. So if you just heat up a punch and go up from underneath and just poke a bunch of holes, it goes through it like butter. Alright, so the interior's in the car, and we made a little bit of a mess. So we've got Wyatt in there, cleaning up after us. Alright, how you making out in there, bud? Good? I want this thing to be squeaky clean when I get back, alright? Alright, let me tell you, dude, that job sucks. Get it? Get it? That was a dad joke. We spent a few hours after getting the interior installed in the car scrubbing down those door panels and getting them shined up. And man, did this thing clean up. Like I've been saying this whole time, we used everything we had that came with the car. The original door panels to the car, the original back seat to the car, the original front seat. The front seat does need to be recovered, but you know what? It's nothing that's gonna prevent us from driving the car. Throw a blanket over the front seat, the foam is still there. It will be a drivable car. And that carpet looks phenomenal. Overall, it came out super, super nice, and it is definitely a really nice driver quality interior. LS swaps are expensive, small blocks are cheap, but these are free.
Don't do this. No. I gotta say, I could have called this one.
All right, now settle down, settle down. I know like 38 of you just freaked out, stood up, threw your remote across the room.
Damn you!
Take it easy. Yes, this is a 250 cubic inch straight six that we got for free. As you can see, this thing is 100% complete. Oil pan, carburetor, everything is here. Heater hoses are still on it. This is a 100% complete unit. Guy hit me up, said, hey, I've got a 6-cylinder. It's been sitting in my barn for 14 years, hasn't run. We went over, we picked that thing up, we dragged it home, and in like 37 seconds, had this thing running on the floor. Now relax, there's nothing to get worked up about here. I mean, this car came with a Chevy engine in it from the factory. The 307 that was installed in these things originally was a Chevy 307. It was not a Pontiac motor. It is gonna be so easy for us to just slam this 6-cylinder in it and get this thing to run and drive and move. The 3-speed that came in the car, we're gonna use that. This motor's already got a clutch pressure plate and flywheel. We can have this thing up and running in no time. As much as I would love to make this thing Pontiac powered, the funds just aren't there right now. But at least by throwing this 6-cylinder in it, we don't have to cut anything up or alter anything to get this motor to fit. It's gonna slide right in there, and then we can have this thing running and driving while we continue to work on it. You know, maybe in the future down the road, slam that Pontiac motor in it like we, would ultimately like to. This one came out of a 67 or a 68 Camaro, and it's supposed to have low mileage on it. Based off of how clean this thing is inside, I believe it probably has low mileage. One thing I really like about these 256 cylinders is these things run like so flawlessly. They always fire right up. They always run really, really well. It's just like a sewing machine, and they're just tried and true. They work great. This car was originally a 3-speed manual car, and we have the original transmission. The bottom line is, this is what we're doing. Deal with it. I can't wait to see the comments on this. Alright, so the motor is in the car. We're just starting to go through wiring and stuff like that. 6 in a row, ready to tow. I think that's a Cummins thing, but she'll get her done. I have a new throttle cable because this one somebody broke it did. Wow, 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 wow. Oh my god, heater hose. This is just too easy. Too easy.
It's almost going like an LS motor. Plug and play, right?
That's not plug and play. This will be pretty plug and play. Or should be pretty plug and play. Just gonna keep hammering away here.
Get the tools. Get the tools, Mike. Maintenance Mike, get it. Everybody can see he's trying to grow a mustache.
Hey, puberty's just starting to hit. 27 years old, it's finally coming.
He's getting there.
That's a 6-cylinder car with a wiring harness. We did all right.
We did good.
Got some of the parts we were missing for the Ventura. So we can fire up the engine in that thing now, maybe. Mike wouldn't let me use the V8 wiring harness. I wanted to chop it up to make it work, and he said, I won't be your friend anymore. So we actually found a 6-cylinder wiring harness that looks like it's good enough that it might work. We'll go home and find out. Maybe we'll be able to start the car. As long as this wiring harness is gonna work, which we're about to find out, we should be ready to rock. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, we just...
To be determined. Okay. Well, it cranks right over.
Yeah, it does.
We need gasolinas.
Gasolinas.
It ain't got no gas in it.
Whoa, 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 too fast, too fast. Whoa, 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 too fast. Too fast. Go, stop.
I don't understand what your problem is.
You're coming out the side. What? You're going too fast in here and it's clogging up. It's not going down fast
You're
enough.
just not good enough for this.
All right, stop, 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 stop.
Why, you scared?
Dude, you stop it. You're overflowing it again. You're going too fast.
Oh, yeah. Tripped a little on everything so it all burns to the ground. Brakes are stopping. Holy crap, this thing's running and driving for the first time in 40 years. 40 years. got second gear. Gotta get an exhaust for this thing, but it's good. It's pretty good. I went ahead and I welded a patch in to the quarter on this side. All right, we did what we did. I wouldn't recommend it, but actually it came out really good. I am pretty darn happy with the way that this wheel arch came out, you know, all things considered. So I did some finishing body work over here. But we are basically at the point where we need to figure out what we're doing for paint on this thing. We've got all these patch panels welded in. Half the car is primer, half the car is orange, half the car is white. The legend has it, the previous owner, when he decided he was going to start doing body work, this is the tool he made to get the paint off. So you can see, like, he was chipping away at it. It's definitely a interesting removal method. Never seen anything quite like that. Nonetheless, it makes for an interesting story that the guy used a homemade machete to do his body work. Ultimately, I don't have the funds to do like a beautiful paint job. What I decided we're gonna go ahead and do, in the spirit of our channel and keeping with our normal theme, I went ahead and bought rattle cans. Woo! The rattle cans are single stage 2K urethane. It's got this push pin thing that activates an activator inside of it. You shake the can for a little while, then you let it have it. But I did go ahead and get those custom made in the factory orange. I'm gonna hit the whole car with the DA and knock all this spray paint and stuff off, knock the rust, you know, the surface rust stuff down a little bit. I think I'm actually gonna wind up leaving this door because I actually like the scrape marks. It kind of tells a story. I want to keep as much of the Ventura as original as I can. I mean, I know I can't keep it all original because we had to do a lot of work and we have a lot of hours in this car. But that passenger side door where the machete marks are, I mean, it tells a story. And I want to try and keep as much of that as I can. So we're going to go ahead and start sanding on this car and hopefully get this thing ready for some paint. Alright guys, so I'm out here waiting outside my paint booth, which is baking. Catch a sneak peek real quick. Woo, baby! The Pontiac is out in the driveway, first time after, you know, being painted. It's cold out here. The paint's been curing for a couple days. And if you know me, I don't do shiny cars. I'm gonna try and dull this thing up. We're gonna try and ratty this thing up. The wet sanding doing exactly what I thought it would do. Dulling it out. I'm purposely like cutting through in areas that would be, you know, patinaed if they were. There's still a long way to go here. But I just wanted to like quick hit it with a towel and dry it off to see if it was gonna do what I wanted it to do. Still definitely a lot of work to do to the side. I'm very impatient. So I wanna go ahead and start hitting this side to see if we're gonna match that door, because I'm a little worried about the door. The last panels prepped for paint. Everything else on the car is done. We were gonna have to paint the hood, the deck lid, and the driver's side front fender. But after starting to prep on the hood for paint, I realized that underneath, like the pink salmon color spray paint that was on the hood, the original orange was actually underneath there. So we went ahead and sanded through the spray paint to get down to the orange, and I wound up hitting that with a buffing wheel, and it came around pretty cool. I like the way it looks. It's a close enough match to the paint job we did on the car that I think it'll be all right. All right, guys, well, after about 2 weeks of putting in hard, long hours after work and in between kids' sports and the Christmas holiday, the Ventura is painted. If you remember, it almost exactly 1 year to the day we dragged this car home, and it sat in this very same spot in the driveway in the snow, just like today. And here it is as a complete running and driving vehicle. There's still stuff we would have to button up on this thing, but here's the Ventura. This is how this car would have came. So we laid a vinyl graphic down the side of it, but the vinyl graphic, I always hate the way that these look because they look like a sticker, and I hate that look. So if you remember back when we did the Janko, I laid the stripe on, we masked off the car, I cut out the stripe, and then we removed the graphic. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do here today. Let's get to work. Alright guys, so the stripe is on the car, and man, do I like the way that this came out. Breaks up that orange a lot. It looks killer. It's the stripe that the car would have had the way that the car was ordered. I think it looks killer. I've been out here looking at the car for some time now, okay? You guys were upset about some of the front end parts that I left alone. Rusty fender, the door, the roof. Listen, I've been looking at that roof. And I don't agree with you about the fender and the door. I like the way the fender and the door and the front end parts look. So you're going to have to deal with that. But I've been looking at this roof. I don't know if I can live with it. It's like a little... I think I'd be all right with it if there was still orange in it. But at some point, somebody painted white up in here, and it just doesn't belong. I got one can of paint left, and we're gonna see what we can do. The paint on the roof is still drying, but I have like the patience of a 4-year-old, so I removed all the masking and stuff because I had to get a good look at what it's going to look like, all orange. It takes a lot, you know, as a guy from New Jersey, to admit when he's wrong, okay? And I'm not saying that I was totally wrong, but it does look better with the roof painted orange like the car, okay? Alright, 70 you were right, okay? I'm not even able to do anything with this right now. I gotta wait for that paint to cure before I can sand it and blend it into the car, but it's gonna come out killer. What they don't tell you when you think about putting a 6-cylinder in something is that you can't find an exhaust for that stuff. Who would have thought? If you could go on the internet right now and find a 250 6-cylinder exhaust system that's like not over $700, you let me know, because I couldn't find anything. So I went on the marketplace, and what you can find is people selling 6-cylinders out of cars. I found a whole bunch of guys with like first-gen Camaros selling 6-cylinders. I found a few people selling 6-cylinders. Most of them just sawzalled their motors out and threw everything out, so they didn't have anything but the motor. But I did find a guy with a 67 Nova who had some of an exhaust. So what I've got here is the downpipe, which is super long, and they just welded like a thrush muffler on here. And you know what? That's gonna be far better than no exhaust. The Ventura may just be one of my greatest projects to date. To me, this car is what hot rodding is all about. Working on a budget with what you have to build something that others can respect and appreciate. This car sat idle on Facebook Marketplace for months before we were turned onto it. Hundreds of people looked at the listing and dismissed it because of the horrible looking exterior and failed to see what a solid project this car was. We picked this unique Pontiac up for a mere $1,500 with all of the parts to reassemble it with the exception of an engine. Our expenditures for this car included a complete new fuel system, brake line kit, wheel cylinders, and some sheet metal patch panels and paint. All in, we were able to return this car to the road for less than $4,000 total investment. To me, this car is one of our most realistic, real-world project cars to date. It shows that you can play in the car hobby without going bankrupt and build a super cool car. Sure, the Ventura isn't exactly how we envisioned it, but it is a super reliable foundation that we can enjoy while we continue to improve on it. Hopefully the Ventura story inspires others that they too can build a car in their one-car garage, driveway, carport, or whatever their situation is. You don't need big money, fancy tools, and a lift to put these cars together. Just a vision, a friend, and some elbow grease can go a long way. Who knows what the future will hold for this old Pontiac, but what I do know is I promise you will see it here at Hatch's Recreational Engineering. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to click that like and subscribe button, and we will see you next time.